Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be doing a speculation on Athalia's abilities because we have from the VN server basically the end of season rewards. There is going to be a glorious chest like there always is, but here you can actually see Athalia. You can click on her and now it will not give you any description of her abilities, but it will show you the icons representing each one of the skills. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to try to match these icons with existing icons of other heroes to get an idea of maybe what type of ability she is going to have. Of course, this is a very speculative video that we don't have any actual information on her skills, but I think it can be interesting to try and figure it out. So first of all, as you can see here, Athalia, rogue hero, celestial, physical range 1, a master rogue wielding a sword lance with unmatched skill, specializes in eliminating the enemy's top damage dealer with devastating pinpoint strikes. So the fact that you're eliminating the enemy top damage dealer will definitely mean that she will have some sort of ability which is going to cause it to lock on to the enemy's hardest hitting damage dealer. And that kind of reminds me, isn't that like Lenya? Doesn't Lenya also have an ability like that? So we're going to first of all look at all of the rogue class heroes. Let's actually begin by taking a look at Lenya and see if any of the skill icons are going to match. Okay, so first of all, the important point is that the Legendary Plus and the Supreme Plus ability, which are the Hero Focus and Enhanced Force, they look almost identical for all heroes. We're not going to comment about those. We're just looking at the other major abilities. So actually, Lenya and Athalia are going to have the same Mythic Plus icon. Obviously not the same ability, but same Mythic Plus icon. And if you see here, Lenya unlocks her full potential, increasing her boost, so it seems like kind of like a stat buff oriented icon. Yeah, and when you look at the ultimate ability of Lenya, targets the enemy who has dealt the highest cumulative damage. And the Mythic Plus ability is going to have the same icon as the Mythic Plus of Athalia, so it is probably going to be some sort of stat boost from the Mythic Plus unlock of Athalia right now. But let's go ahead and keep looking at the other rogue heroes we have here, because Sylvina is another hero. A lot of people think Athalia is just going to be kind of like a buffed up version of Sylvina, so I want to see that. Okay, looking at Iron's ability, Ice Spike. This icon looks a bit similar to Athalia over here. The skill, basically skill 3 of Athalia, which is like a sword and then a whole arc around it. I think that probably indicates AoE damage or arc type damage. Iron's ability here will do a slash and damage within a 3-tile arc and then hitting enemies in a 2-tile line behind them. Okay, Lenya, we already looked at Lenya. And then we have Vala. No real icons are going to be overlapping for Vala. We have Sylvina. So Sylvina's Blade Vortex ability is going to have the same icon as the Mythic Plus ability of Athalia. For Sylvina, this is going to give her normal attacks and enhanced Whirl Assault, basically buffed up normal attacks. So again, this seems to be sort of like a stat buffing or effect modifying and buffing icon. But other than that, we don't see anything else which is going to line up with Sylvina. For Sinbad, nothing is really matching. Sad to know. Salazar. Okay, Salazar Soul Drench. This is going to be the same as a Mythic Plus icon of Athalia. He gains an increase in Trapped Whip. So another cast of one of his abilities, or an instant cast of one of his abilities. So this icon could actually indicate an instant cast of one of Athalia's abilities. It doesn't necessarily mean to be a buff. That is interesting. And then again, it does also have that sword with the arc on it, and this is going to deal arc damage. Okay. Apart from that, is there anything else? We have Nara with the arc type effect, and this is a 2-tile wide shockwave. So I'm pretty sure that looking at Athalia's skill, it is most likely that the skill 3 here, the sword with the arc around it, is probably going to be AoE damage of some sort, but we can't really say much more about that. And I think that is it for the rogue heroes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other classes of heroes, maybe warriors, which could match Athalia. So Harak does have the same icon for his Flesh Feast, which is going to give him a buff to himself, as the icon on the Mythic Plus of Athalia. So the Mythic Plus of Athalia is probably going to be a buff. or being able to instantly cast one of her skills, or get an additional cast of one of her skills, or maybe a combination of both. That is probably what it seems like. However, we know from her skill description, she is going to be prioritizing enemies who have dealt the highest cumulative damage. So I don't know whether the Mythic Plus is also going to be encompassing that, or one of her other abilities, because her skill 3 here, which is her sword and the AoE damage, that just seems like a regular AoE damaging attack. That doesn't seem like it's focusing any specific hero. But looking at the other ones, it could be that her ultimate, just like Lenya's ultimate, is going to cause her to duel with the highest cumulative damage enemy. It could be that. And we just see an image of her lance on her ultimate. We don't really know much more about that. And it is going to be specific to her. We can't compare with any other hero. But her skill 1 is interesting because this is an icon I don't think we've ever seen in the game so far. It's basically like a hero who is charging towards something. It looks like a charge type attack based on the icon here, and this could be allowing Athalia maybe to begin targeting a backline enemy, or it could be maybe targeting the highest cumulative damage dealt enemy. I'm not entirely sure, and I don't know if there would be a range on this or not, if it's total map wide. But either way, this one, it definitely looks like a charging ability that is going to get her into a position to begin attacking enemies, because she is a range 1 hero. Other than this, looking at her whole kit, there doesn't seem anything which is going to get her into attacking the enemies. So I guess the skill 2 over here, the charge animation, is going to allow her to reposition into a place where she's going to begin bursting down the enemy heroes. The other thing which is interesting, but let's just keep looking here. I looked at Hodgkin. I want to show you guys Hodgkin here, because Hodgkin's skill 3 is exactly the same icon as the skill 3 of Athalia. That was something I found peculiar, because the other icons you've seen up until now dealing like the arc-wide damage, it was not exactly the same icon as Athalia's here. It was similar though. Hodgkin's is exactly the same. And this is going to be also arc-wide damage, but also stealing energy. And you know Athalia in AFK Arena has like energy reducing effects onto her target. So I don't know, is this going to be an ability that is going to reduce energy of the opponent? Or is it just going to be like an overall AoE wide attack? Maybe not just in an arc, but totally around herself. I don't know, but that was just something that I found interesting looking at Hodgkin over here. And looking at the other heroes, there are not going to be... Oh, yeah, they're not going to be any other major ones. We've seen a lot of this arc-wide damage, which is kind of lining up. Scarlita's Mythic Plus is going to have the same icon as Athalia's Mythic Plus. Scarlita's Mythic Plus is going to give her the true damage and that unique effect of knocking off enemies. So it definitely does seem like the Mythic Plus of Athalia probably going to be like a buff to herself. But it could also be... like we saw an additional cast of one of her abilities. Maybe a combination of both, or maybe even a unique new effect. Like here, Scarlita is a unique effect of knocking off enemies off the battlefield. But that is basically it for those key abilities. So let's come back to the image of Athalia and all of these abilities. It does seem like the skill 3 is going to be AoE damage. The Mythic Plus ability is going to be either a form of a buff, along with maybe additional skill casts, or resetting the cooldown of skill casts, anything like that type of concept. Or it could be even, for example, Scarlita, like adding an additional effect onto one of her abilities or one of her damage. The Enhanced Force and the Hero Focus, we can't really comment on that. It's probably just going to enhance her abilities. Her ultimate, I don't know. I think her ultimate could be a form of repositioning herself. Like looking at it here, it's her lance like landing on the floor, and so I feel like probably it would be like, I don't know exactly what it would be, but it seems like it would be allowing her to get in at a target when she casts her ultimate. But the thing is, doesn't look like there's any survival in this kit. Looking at the skill icons, of course, this is all speculation, but there's nothing that is hinting at survivability, and that is going to be one thing to worry about, because when you're talking about heroes, especially rogue class heroes, if they don't have a form of survival, they're not going to be the top tier options, because the top tier PvP have to have ways of keeping themselves alive, or just bursting down the enemy quickly. So potentially Athalia can just burst the enemy quickly and not need to worry about her survival, but that's something I'm worried about here. The other thing is, looking at all of these abilities, doesn't look like there's any form of HP per second damage. Normally the HP per second damage, if we take a look at, for example, Fraser's HP per second damage, the abilities usually look like this, like a blood drop icon out of a wound. These are usually the HP per second damaging abilities. However, it could be in many different forms. For example, even Ludovic. Ludovic's HP per second damage, as you can see here, is going to be kind of like sapping health out of an opponent. But basically a wound and some form of health sapping. That is usually the way they illustrate HP per second damage. And I don't really see that over here. So as of right now, we don't really know much, but this is just speculation. I feel like she is going to be a pretty much purely PvP hero. There's nothing here which is suggesting that she is going to be useful in Dream Realm. There's nothing suggesting HP per second damage. However, of course, we will have to wait and see. This is just like my first thoughts based on what we have here. And this is very limited information. We're just going off of previous skill icons and speculation, but there's nothing else we can do at this point, right? So this is at least interesting. I at least found it interesting. I'm really interested to see her skill 2, her charging ability that looks like, I want to see how that is going to work, because that could make or break her even for PvP. Like, if that is like from the first second of the battle, she jumps at a specific target, kind of like Sylvena's first strike, then that could be very strong, right? Like getting to the target that you need, maybe even the high, but how would it be the highest cumulative damage? Like if this is going to be a charge attack, and if it's charging at the highest cumulative damage enemy, then it would probably be a bit delayed, because like at the first second of the fight, like Sylvena's first strike, she just jumps on the symmetrical enemy. So looking at this, I don't know. Is it going to be a symmetrical charge? Is it going to be a charge that waits until some of the fight goes on, and then the highest damage dealer, that's who you jump onto? I don't know. But I'm also a little bit worried that yeah, I'm the most worried about survival, because when it comes down to these rogue heroes, survival is really important. Like Vala, what is the problem with her? She deals good damage, but she can easily be killed. Sylvena also, she deals good damage, but can easily be killed. Even though she is pretty good with the Graveborn faction talents this season, she's easy to play around, and she's easy to kill at the beginning of the match. So unless it's all or nothing. Either you win fast or you lose. So I don't know about Athalia. How is she going to solve that? Is there going to be any other survival in her kit? But let me know, guys, based on these skill icons, what are your theories, what are your speculations? Let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm sure I have missed things. I just basically briefly went over the key icons I've seen from other heroes and tried to match, but I'm sure there are other ideas which I missed out on, so let me know in the comment section. But as of right now, I'm feeling pretty confident that Athalia probably won't have Dream Realm usage based on these skill icons, and most likely going to be a PvP focused hero, but of course I could be wrong. Even when Harok came out and we saw like his battle animations, I thought that Harok probably wouldn't be good for Dream Realm, and he ended up being really good. So Athalia potentially could as well, but I'm hoping not, because the thing is, we had the twins this season. That is a hero a lot of free-to-play light spinners had to go for. They can't really afford to be building up another meta Dream Realm hero, so I'm hoping that Athalia, even if she's really good in PvP, I'm hoping she's limited to PvP, so it is not going to interfere with other people's game plan for Dream Realm content. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's try to hit it before the end of the season. Thank you guys for the support. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.